is troubled water, not economy-wise now, politically speaking this time around. The minority caucus of the House of Representatives has joined its Senate counterpart to hand President Muhammadu Buhari a 6-week ultimatum to fix insecurity or face impeachment in the National Assembly. Minority Leader of the House of Representatives, Ndudi Elumelu, revealed this after a closed-door meeting of the Joint Minority Caucus of the National Assembly earlier today. Honorable Elumelu says that the signatures will be gathered to impeach the president if the security situation is not addressed. Now, let's get some insight on what does the impeachment, can the president be impeached? We heard yesterday that it may be just a bravado, it may never happen, it may just be a political wish that may never see the light of day, and that's ultimatum. It's not realistic. These are some of the issues and reactions that we've gotten. Now, let's get insight from someone who has been in the National Assembly and a senior lawyer at that. Honorable West Idahosa, Senior Advocate of Nigeria, joins us live here in Abuja studio. Thank you so much, Honorable SAN. And also we have a member of the National Assembly, one of the opposition that is looking to remove President Buhari in the National Assembly, Senator Jeff. Thank you so much, Senator, for coming tonight.
It's a pleasure being here.
Now, I think it's that bad that you want the president out, Senator?
Yeah, thanks. Personally, I wish we don't come to that stage. Now, if you look at the optics, the visuals of yesterday, especially when the minority caucus went out to hold that press conference, you could see prominently amongst us was Senator Bokachua. He's a member of the APC. Okay?
He's a leader in the APC?
Yes. He's a member of the APC, and he's one of the most vociferous defenders of the president in the past 3 years in the Senate. Anything that came up, he would speak in support of the president. Senator Alero, where he has crossed over to the, to the opposition now, but he was also another strong defender of the president. Now, we went inside that room in the executive session, that behind the closed doors. And I want to report to you, even though I'm not allowed to divulge, the stuff that went on, but I can say confidently that there was no single person in that room that was happy with the state of affairs in this country. The economy, insecurity, and so on. The value of the naira that the professor was discussing.
Is it true that in all of the senators that were in the chamber yesterday, only 3 did not support impeachment of President Buhari? Is it true?
Yeah, but even of those that did not support impeachment, they agreed with every other person that the state in which we are in calls for some very strong actions. But they felt where it shouldn't be impeachment.
So, and okay, from the view, from the perspective of the senators, you believe that president getting out of the kitchen will resolve the heat of the kitchen?
You see, some people were saying, why didn't you just give, serve the impeachment notice right away? Why didn't you just give? We did that because, we gave 7 weeks, 6 weeks, because hoping that in those 6 weeks, steps will be taken that will satisfy people that, okay, maybe because of what the National Assembly has started, the president has woken up, or his team have woken up to, to try to fix the issues that are on hand. Because we have earned the toga of what do they call us, a rubber stamp assembly, a compliant Senate, because we have tried to bend over backwards to, accept everything that comes from the executive arm of government, just so that we will help them. They won't have the excuse of impeding their program that they promised Nigeria at the beginning of the administration.
So for those who have criticized the National Assembly, that you are moving for an impeachment now, are things just getting bad? Why? What have you been looking that you have not been, you have not taken a strong stand before now?
Sharon, let me tell you that as politicians, if this step had been taken maybe 2 months back, I'm assuring you that we wouldn't have gotten the kind of support that we get today. Okay, but we've reached the tipping point where the capital of the nation is being assaulted in such a brazen fashion. I think nobody can take it any longer.
Right. Okay. Let me bring Honorable Wesida also here. Give us a benefit of your experience in the National Assembly. There hasn't been any in history, in our political history, any point where the parliament has been able to remove the sitting president through impeachment. Now, with what we've seen yesterday, Do you think that the atmosphere will lead to such a thing as an impeachment?
Well, you see, thank you for this question. You understand that in a presidential system, in developing countries like Nigeria, it's founded on patrimonialism, patronage. So when the heat, or what we call creative tension, in parliament is generated, now, the forces of patrimonialism will go underground as they often do. That's why you haven't found any history from 1999 to date, indeed from independence to date, there hasn't been a successful removal of a president through a democratic process, largely to the level of poverty, which is quite high, mode of political selection, and the selection process itself. So now, in this case, look at the numbers. They will require 156 Senate members of the National Assembly to even commence this process. That's 1/3 to sign that notice.
Of both chambers.
So even if all the senators were to sign, they will still require members of the House of Reps.
The concurrence.
To reach the 156 figure that can ignite a notice.
They said they are collating.
Yeah, that's fine. That's what I'm saying. The minimum they can get to be able to attract the attention of the Senate President will be 156. Now, when they get that notice, they then have to look for what amounts to gross violation, gross misconduct, and then put that before the Senate President, who, within 7 days of receiving it, circulates that notice to every member, including Mr. President himself. If Mr. President has a response, he will send the response to the Senate President, who will in turn circulate that response. Now, after that exercise, within 14 days from when that notice is presented to the Senate President, both houses will have to, by resolution, decide whether or not they wish to investigate the allegations, and they will require 2/3. In other words, the Senate will be forced to produce 72 senators to support an investigation of the allegation. The House itself will be required to produce 240 persons in support of that allegation.
Okay, so let's look at it. Let's analyze it. Two things is generating the heat the more. Now, some of the lawmakers are angry that they are not able to get a ticket to return. So, in fact, those who are of the main, at the ruling party are not happy. In fact, some of them are cross-carpet. Senator Alero is one of them that has crossed to the other side. Now, that is pushing them, and some of them do not care. They will speak up and they will take that move. That is one signal that we've gotten. The other one is the fact that the security situation is such at the point that none of them is bold enough to speak in favor, because we've tried as much as possible to invite people to come and speak for government or the APC, but they found it very difficult to do. People are finding it difficult to support what is happening. So could these two factors help the cause of those calling for impeachment?
Well, it still may not help it. It will give it the momentum that it requires to walk up the president and to get him to sit up. Now, the reason why, those numbers are huge. They are huge. And don't forget also...
Is it an impossible number to get?
It's possible, but elections are coming. There are those who already have, just as you have aggrieved persons who didn't get ticket, you have those who also had a return ticket. They too will be looking to play the role of loyal party men.
Do you think President Buhari cares about this situation?
He does not. He definitely, if you look at the last interview he had with you, he made it clear he doesn't care about who succeeds him. He doesn't care. In fact, he gave a warning. He made it clear that anyone, he said everything is on record. I don't know what is on record, but anyone who dares to invite him to give evidence before any court of law when he leaves will be in trouble. Those are his words. And so whether or not this heat is going on, he may not really know. But
is there any heat in the Aso Rock Villa? Because the National Assembly, just less than a kilometer to the villa, are sending the heat. But doesn't look like the heat is getting the villa, is it? With the reaction we are getting from the NSA, do you see any heat?
If you listen to the spokesman of the government, of the executive itself, I mean, they are trivializing it. They do not understand that what we are facing is about the preservation of the sovereignty of our country, which belongs to the people. So do not be surprised that those who represent the people are at the forefront now of the preservation of this sovereignty. I do think that in a long time, this is the first time that we are finding this type of momentum in the last 7-8 years. It's been an hallelujah affair. Everybody pretending not to know that Rome is burning, pretending to sleep while Rome is burning. But right now, there seems to be a conscious effort to push the president.
It looks like the roof is coming down on everyone, and they have to, Now, then, I mean, you are going to be on the hot seat, Senator, because you are an elected official, and Nigerians, a lot of them are not happy about the situation of things. If you ask those whose family members have been killed or kidnapped in the den of the kidnappers or the bandits, they will tell you they are not happy at the moment. And you heard what Honorable Wesida also said. Look, it doesn't look like there is any heat anywhere. And it might be possible for you to get the numbers, but it might be impractical for you to get the president out.
I already said here that I wish that we don't come to the stage where they will actually get the president out. I wish that he would take this heat that is being generated from the legislative arm of government and wake up and get his team to wake up and do the right thing. I heard...
Is the threat for real? Or you were just using it as a means to an end?
We've just started. We've given 6 weeks. Let's see what happens.
Do you really mean it? The opposition, do you really mean it?
Of course. Well,
you are ready to take up the executive
on this matter? If the right thing
is
done, there will be no point for it, Shehu. If the right thing is done. But if it's not done, I mean, like I told you, there's hardly any person on that floor that said, no, we are happy with the state of things. Okay? So I cannot speak emphatically for anybody, but by what I saw and the discussions that I saw, I think that everybody is sufficiently angry to go on with what
you know the reason why I asked that question? You have a teacher in a private school, and there is a law that you're never going to use cane on any student. And you know you're never going to use, but you are threatening. It does look to me that you're just a threat. You just want the attention of the president.
Well,
and perhaps...
Well, Shaun, if it's just a threat and the threat gets things done, it's still the same effect.
Absolutely.
It's still the same
effect. We're concerned as a people is that no Nigerian should be killed any longer.
Exactly.
Let our security be fixed. Abuja is on the threat because of the security threat that we are receiving. Now, the question is, what is the way out of this? If this threat does not answer the question, what will?
Well, the thing is, they have pulled the trigger, and it probably will be too late for them to pull it back. Now, if this threat doesn't, they may have no alternative than to try to push for the numbers. Okay? Because this is a very vindictive government. You have to understand that. And in the politics of presidentialism, you are dealing with enormous powers on the executive side. So they will have to find a way to filibuster the presidency. 2 ways they can do that now. If they cannot get those numbers, they must use the power of the purse. They must get that power of the purse to checkmate the executive and ensure that this type of flamboyance, this type of expenditure, this type of borrowing that we are witnessing in the midst of insecurity is brought to a halt, you know.
Thank you so much. Indeed, it's a pleasure having you, Senator Okachev and Honorable Wesida also, Senior Advocate of Nigeria. Thanks so much, gentlemen, for coming.
It's been a pleasure.
Thank you.
Our concern here is about Nigeria and Nigerians. We want things fixed and done. Thank you so much, everyone, for watching today. I'm Sean Okimale. Bye for now.